I like the character of Doctor Strange. I didn't really like the movie. I didn't. I think Benedict Cumberbatch is a decent Doctor Strange. But, at this point, the fact that Doctor Strange is still a man, I guess we have to give points just for that in the MCU.
Yeah.
I just, man, I long for the days of waiting for Infinity War to come out and waiting for Endgame. And I agree with you, Jaden Hamilton. I'm not excited for the multiverses at all, especially since it seems like that the multiverses aren't multiversy enough and they have to keep adding more crap.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, are you guys getting that sense? I mean, how many, like Adam West is Batman? I've heard that. I've heard they're going to deep fake Christopher Reeves. Everybody's talking about Professor X from the original X-Men. That doesn't make a movie. Am I being unfair?
It just seems that they are definitely preying on people's nostalgia and harking back to much better films. I think if you've got to bring characters from much better films into your film, then how good is the film to begin with? That's what I would say.
I think this is it's one of those things where you have no quality ingredients left, so you just throw as much into it as possible. And like at a restaurant where they have a buffet that no one eats at, the next day they have stew that just happens to have pieces from the buffet the day before in it.
And that's the one next to the animal shelter. I know
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to eat that either.
They're sitting there saying, okay, let's write a script around the fan service moments.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, there's nothing genuine about it. And then as a result, there's nothing good about it. It just ends up being this nasty stew that Zaxx was talking about.
You guys just triggered something for me, and in a good way, not in a Twitter blue hair way. We say the word fan service, and they used to use that as a derogatory term against us for Star Wars. Now we say we want fan service, and I think we all do. But fan service, in my opinion, is not what they think it means. Tell me what your version of what fan service is. Is it a never-ending, rotating carousel of member berries, or is it still about the core 3-act play with good characters, good story?
It's all about writing the good story. If you want to put little fan service bits in there, okay, but that doesn't add anything to it. When we went and watched the prequels in the movie theaters, and then you had the parts where like, oh, this droid's name is R2, and then everybody around the theater started clapping. And I'm sitting there thinking, it added nothing. If you want to do fan service, then build a story around those kind of elements that actually enhances the element of that fan service.
Absolutely. And in fact, you think, Spider-Man No Way Home, we had Toby and Andrew brought back, and you could argue that that was fan service, but the way that they were brought back and incorporated into the film was done so well, it wasn't disrespectful to either the people watching or to the previous films.
That was probably the best example of fan service that we've had maybe in decades.
Mm-hmm.
Punkwaddle says the issue about story is, where are you going with the story? If there is no story arc, then it doesn't matter what cool things you throw on screen. If it goes nowhere, people aren't excited to go back. It's true. And I think we have seen that profoundly with Disney Plus, with every successive show and being released, having the viewership fall off a cliff. And again, I mean, the last Spider-Man movie was enjoyed and loved because it was a pretty good story.
Definitely. And the Spider-Man, why it works so well is, yes, there was fan service, but it stayed true to the characters and who they were. They didn't do anything out of their character, and it had some great moments that tied together that even if you didn't recognize them from the other films, like Andrew Garfield, The Big Catch, that's enjoyable even if you don't know why that's so important. You don't need to know that. You can still like it. It's still a good story. It's still well told. And it's even better if you have the history and the knowledge going into it. That's fan service done right.
Absolutely.
As ever, this is Salty Texas Sea. I am Corey DB. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you've seen and heard, please hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love to have you on board. That way you know, and we have things like live streams, which we are going to be doing every Tuesday evening. Take care. I hope you're having a great 2022.